Hey guys, welcome to the other side of the basement. I did a few videos a while back on organizing tubes, and it worked for a while, but some issues have come up. One being I need more space. I set up the shelving system in an area where there's heat ducts, so I can't go up as high as I would like to. And I acquired several batches of tubes, and I realized that when I sorted these, I filled most of them to the limit, meaning when I got more tubes, there's nowhere to put them, to mix them in. So I have several tubs just filled with random tubes. Then I might think, well, as I use up tubes, I'll just replace them. But some of the new tubes I've gotten don't exist in the bins. Anyway, I've come up with some other strategies, but the main crux of this is I'm relocating that entire system, something I've been meaning to do for several years now, to this corner where I have these abominations, these super cheapo Home Depot plastic shelving systems that are super rickety and things get hung up on them, they fall through the voids and all that. Anyways, what I want to do is put the tubes over here. I also have more area so I can I have more options to rearrange things. So I'm going through and sorting stuff, and some of these boxes have been here since we moved into this house. So I'm finding test leads and extra power cords and odds and ends that I forgot that I even had, plus a lot of holiday decorations that I'm just going to go into the attic or a closet or something like that. And a whole lot of paint from when we first moved in and touched up the paint. And you guys may recall I picked up this antique dresser a while ago. I actually did do a bit of work on it, and I want to put this over there. And what do I use this for? I use this for off-season clothes. So as we're changing seasons and it gets getting warmer, I might hit 70 degrees over this weekend, put the sweaters and such in here. So this was a nice find. Still have some work to do. I never did repair the top, but I got all the drawers working well. So that is what I'm working on right now. I want to get this done ASAP and get back to TV. So I wanted to give you guys something to watch, so this is what I'm up to. One down, one to go. Psychedelic, baby. What do you think? 60s, 70s. I believe it's linoleum flooring they put up on the walls in this corner for whatever reason. It's just here in the whole house, just this one corner. If I was more ambitious, I might paint this, but nah. Hope I can get this board out of the way, though, because it juts out, and I'd like to put the shelving system flush with this. I think they might have nailed it into the sill, so oh well. Because everybody's wondering, this place is built in 1915, so it's about 110 years old. Full dimension lumber, old growth stuff. You practically have to drill a pilot hole in to put a nail into it. It's so dense. And many rounds of remodeling, renovations, restorations. Kitchen sink used to be over here, so we just have this remnants of a pipe. It's all been cut off and stuff's been relocated. Wiring nightmare. This is the original electric service. And new breaker box. Alright, one more to go. And then the fun part is taking all those containers of tubes down and relocating the shelves. Oh, that was more work than I thought it would be. I'll tell you why. I didn't realize that I must have built that shelving system in place because assembled, I couldn't move it because the vertical pieces were coming up between the joist and the heating ducts. However, I was able to tilt it at about 45 degrees before it hit this post and just slide it through. I might have had to move a lot of stuff out of the way, but hey, it's done. So the big motivation to do it was more vertical height. I can make use of the space between the joists, so I can go before. And with the other setup, I can only put about one on the top. And now in some areas I can go 4 high. So with doing that, I was able to get everything that happened in it, and I added more, and there's room left over. And I've got room room to roam. So sorting, yeah. So I'm sorting accumulate containers like this, which is just a jumble of tubes that are unsorted. But I went through and I picked out tubes that I know I've used in the past and may very well use again in the future. Well, the other technique I've been doing is I heard this from other folks, and I can see the merit to it, and I've done a little bit as well myself, which is to not sort them by tube number, but sort them by what they're used in and by the era. So, for example, this long container here are tubes that you'd use in radios from the early 30s. In other words, why mix them in with the TV tubes? So this would be all your 2-digit tubes. 24, 27, 35, 47, 45, 80, etc. But I've also started to do with TVs now. So I'm working on a few electrostatic sets lately. There are certain tubes that generally only electrostatic sets use, like a 6SL7, a 12SN7, 25L6. All of those are used in Motorola, the VT71s, for example. So I took a container, a medium-sized container, and put all the tubes in it that I would use for those types of sets. Now, some tubes, like a 6AU6, is used in just about everything. So I have a dedicated container somewhere in here that's just 6AU6s, and one with 6AG5s and 6AL5s. So rather than having to go hunting through the 6A bins or the 6B bins, I'm thinking, well, if I'm going to work on a Motorola VT71, I'll grab the Motorola VT71 bin and pull that out. But I don't put all of them in there. I'll leave a few 6SL7s and such kind of in the main bin, or, in the mix where they're sorted by letters, but I have some dedicated ones to certain eras and certain types of sets. So that's the way it is. The compactrons are relegated to the garage and storage unit, and most of the damper tubes are as well, because I just don't use those as often. But this is great. So now I can do laundry and hunt for tubes at the same time. Alright, that's going to be it for now. If you have any thoughts, suggestions, comments, I'd love to hear feedback about how you all sort your tubes. Because boy, even with all this, I still spend more time than I'd like hunting for tubes.